Now, I mentioned before that the Animal Fun program, of course, has lots of activity ideas to help children promote these skills. And I'll just give you a couple of examples from some of the modules. So from module 6, we're talking about doing fine motor sequencing and building up that strength. So the activity of the empty alligators is using the peg to pretend to be the alligator who's creeping along a surface. So the peg would be resting on a table and you might put out some morsels of food like small currants or sultanas, and the empty alligator is going along and chomping down on that food. You may also just use, these miniature little pom-poms again if you don't want to have any realistic food in the classroom. So that's one activity. Things like finger puppets, great for working individual fingers. So being able to isolate each of your fingers and have them do different actions. Of course, finger rhymes, we have a couple in there. We've got 2 little dicky birds. We've got Incy Wincy Spider. Another great activity for the whole class is this sponge squeeze activity. So this is where you'd have a group of children in a circle with one child in the middle, and the pom-pom or a small sponge is being passed from child to child, but they're trying to hide the sponge by squeezing it in their fist. The child in the middle is spinning around trying to catch who it is who's passing on the sponge or the pom-pom, and having to see who it is who's hiding it in their hand. Now, if I couldn't squeeze it very well, some of the sponge would be showing, and that would be a real giveaway. So we're trying to squeeze that sponge or pom-pom very tightly in our hand. Things like the chipmunk cheeks. This is helping children to develop this skill of tucking in their ring finger and their pinky finger into their palm, leaving their precision fingers available for the precise work. So it's how many objects can you pick up, transfer to your palm, and keep a hold of in there as you go to pick up another object. Can you transfer that to your palm and pick up another object? So how many? These pom-poms are really quite big. You'd want ones that are a little bit smaller, perhaps even using cotton wool balls. So that's chipmunk cheeks. I don't know where my chattering, oh, there it is. Sorry, fell on the floor. The chattering animals activity. So this is the origami. Remember making these as a kid? In and out. The folding of the paper is a really good fine motor skill too. So perhaps you'll need an older child or an adult to start to do the paper folding, but children can actually have their own square and copy what you're doing, or you can have them help by pressing down hard on the seams. But the young children put their fingers in, so thumbs in the back ones, 4 fingers in the front ones, and they can practice doing this opening and closing action. Of course, it's up to you what you would like to put on the various surfaces. So you might have some animals, and on the inside it's trying to guess what the baby animal is called, or perhaps you're going to use it just to create a little bit of humour, put some funny riddles or jokes, on the inside. But a great activity to do if you've got multi-age classes or groupings. So they're just a few of the Animal Fun activities that you will find in modules 5, 6, 7 and 8.